Finished devouring the storm dragon, my evolution had completed, and it appeared that I was born as a unique species. Now, to check out the new body. Thanks to that, the body that once looked around 12 years old, now looked around the age of 16. Well, in regard to energy usage, as long as I'm able to move about in my relaxed state, then there were no problems. Using the matter creation ability from Diablo and the other demons, I used my aura and created clothes. In an instant, my body felt like it was garbed in clothing. It felt very pleasant. It was a set of cool black. The performance was God-tier. I felt like I had evolved. I see, indeed. Coming here, I felt like I had awakened a whole lot more. This was all the result of a successful operation. In short, this was all thanks to Ciel-san. This was really well done, truly befitting of Sensei. Alert, not at all. Well, I've got clothes now, but I haven't forgotten my original objective. Veldora, you alright? How many times have I told you? Or rather, look at you. Well done defeating my main body safely. This is wonderful. It truly is. Veldora and I were both glad the other was alright. Report. Soul Corridor with individual Veldora successfully re-established. Ciel was always constantly working. This time, too, it was flawless work as... According to the investigation, Rimuru had been born from the magicule pool that leaked from Veldora. And yet, Rimuru devoured all of the Storm Dragon, his parent, and transformed himself into the 5th true dragon, Ultimate Slime. Immediately after, the slime began to take human form. He had a single sword in his hand, and not a scrap of clothing. He looked around 15 to 16 years old. At a height of only 160 centimeters or so, it was not an exaggeration to say that he was of small stature. However, the amount of magicule contained within him was not only comparable to Veldora's, but it also surpassed it. His golden eyes were large and beautiful, as if they could see through everything. His silvery hair was lightly tinged with light blue, giving off a moonlit glow. He had no gender, and his face was more dainty than beautiful. However, the divine presence that he gave off was sublimely transformed into beauty. His dazzling white skin was cloaked in an aura of black and gold. True dragons are the highest ranking beings in existence. They're nigh invulnerable and nigh unstoppable avatars of nature. that serve as the pillars of all creation, with only 5 known to exist. They are considered the greatest creations of the Creator God. Such a ridiculous miracle. Overnight, Imperial soldiers seemed to have made Demon Lord the object of their faith. To Rimuru, they may have been insignificant, but some of them still had strength, and they were allowed to live until their bodies aged, and they reached the end of their life. That was enough. And this was the same feeling shared by all of the 700,000 soldiers. No one would dare to rebel against Rimuru when they were all so grateful and in awe. They were defeated from the bottom of their hearts. the Imperial invasion could only be described as a complete failure. Masayuki, known at the time as just Rudra, was born millennia ago as a prince of the Nazca kingdom with the ambition to unite the entire world. At some point, he was taken under the tutelage of Veldanava, who trained him to be a chosen hero that could rival Guy Crimson. Over the course of the many years of his training, he obtained both the unique skill Chosen One and the ultimate skill Yuri. He was also blessed by the elementals and their queen, awakening as a true hero sometime after. Before his first confrontation with Guy, Veldanava approached him and proposed that they trade ultimate skills, his Uriel for Veldanava's Michael. Rudra accepted the offer and received Michael, a skill better suited for his dream of unifying the world. Rudra, you see, he reached his limits long ago. He reincarnated himself so many times that it wore his soul out. What you see there is Rudra, but it's also not. He's long been replaced by Michael, Lord of Justice. Rudra once held pure and idealistic dreams of creating a perfect world where disputes could be settled with words rather than violence. The man with these naive ideals was slowly corroded away over time as Michael's control took control over his mind, his exhausted soul being chipped away by repeated rebirths, only serving to exacerbate the problem. Eventually, nothing more remained than an echo of his former self, a complete thrall to Michael that was imparted with the harsh ideologies of absolute justice and might make right.